Hi guys, so I'm going to do a video where I talk about the best trading resources. This is for beginner traders or people who are just lost in this web of Twitter and YouTube bloggers and don't know how to get started with trading. There's just so many books out there, so many influencers, so many people that claim how to teach you how to trade. Um, it can be really confusing, and so hopefully this can help you navigate your way through that and tell you what to think about when you come across a new guru or a trading resource. I'm going to talk about three things in this video. One is how to avoid scams, and there are a lot of trading scams out there, a lot of fake gurus as well. I'm going to give you a few tips from my own experience on how to avoid these sort of scams and show you a few recent ones. Second, I'm going to take you through the three best free resources to learn trading. And these are honestly the only three that you need. This is all information available for free on the internet. It's just really hard as a novice trader to find them and to know that these are the best resources. And lastly, if you're a reader and would prefer reading trading books, then I'm going to give you show you what's in my trading library and the top 5 books that I refer to time and time again. Again, these are the only 5 trading books that you will need, and it's better to read these 100 times than to read 500 other books. But I'm also going to give you a few pointers on how to judge different sorts of trading books, the 3 types of trading books that are in the market today, and what to think about if you're deciding whether or not to pick up a new trading book. So let's get started. The first thing, if you're a new trader, is to realize that this is a pretty ugly industry and it's full of scams. At least 99% of the gurus who claim that they're trading experts and they can teach you how to trade are running scams. And you need to, before you pay someone any money, you need to verify. And that's not an easy thing either. Because a lot of these gurus will have millions and hundreds of thousands of followers, but unfortunately, number of followers does not equal experience or skill or any track record of trading success. But as a trader who's new to this world, it's very hard to figure that out, because when you create a Twitter account, it's going to recommend all the popular traders to you, the ones with the million followers. And you're going to think, oh, these ones have 1 million followers, so they must be really good. But that is not the case. I'm going to show you just 2 examples from trading scams that were exposed in the last year. And these were very recent ones. And if you've been a trader since 2020, you've heard of them. So the first one is Mr. Zack Morris. He was huge on Twitter until the government cracked onto him and his scam. And the other is Raging Bull, who's been around for quite a while, but after a decade or so, finally the government cracked down on him. Let me just show you what exactly they did and how you can learn from this and prevent being scammed by these people in the future. So the Mr. Zack Morris scam was basically a group of these 8 online influencers on Twitter who scammed people of $114 million. And what they did was they used fake names and aliases. Like the Zack Morris guy was actually called Edward something, and PJ Matlock was so popular on Twitter, you might have even followed him or heard of him if you were a trader in the last 2 years. These guys put together had more than 1 million followers, and they're now facing jail for 25 years. What they did was basically they would alert you saying, I found the stock, I got into it, it's going to go up a lot. And then you, the innocent new trader that you are, would buy it. And then like 5 minutes later, while every one of his followers is buying it, he would sell it. And so the stock had gone up and he would sell it and make money, but all of his followers would lose money when it eventually came down. And he would never tell the people that he sold it. So him and his group did this for like 2 years and made 114 million off of their subscribers. The second one is Raging Bull. This was super popular for the last decade. And they have scammed people of 137 million. I'm not proud of it, but I fell for this scam too and was a part of this service for a while. But I did leave before they got exposed because I realized what was going on. So the founders of this company, they tout themselves as expert stock traders who teach customers how they too can become millionaires. Okay, so this is a very, very common scam. People are going to call themselves expert stock traders left, right, and center. Do you want to know who these guys really were? It's shocking. Go on Wikipedia and type ragingbull.com and you will read this. It was founded by Bill, Martin, Rusty, and Greg, who were 19 years old at the time. These were kids in high school. They started it in a basement. And within a year, they had 8,000 users. By 2020, this company was so huge, it had 500,000 people paying them for their stock recommendations. 12 million people would view their page daily. They had so much marketing going on. And even companies like eSignal, that is a very popular trading platform, had integrated with them. In fact, if you guys watch Shark Tank, then you probably know of this guy, Damon John. He's super popular in the US, and he used to recommend Jason Bond to his entire community. So sometimes it can be really difficult to tell who's legit, who's not, especially when you've got collaborations with all of these big names. But they did end up being frauds and defrauded people of $140 million. So you want to beware of all of these scams, and this is more the norm than the exception. Okay, so if you're still looking to learn trading, then where do you go? I'm going to show you the 3 best free resources that are out there on the internet and are legit, as far as I know. And either way, they're not going to cost you a dime. And every single thing that I do and have learned from is covered in these 3 resources. So the first is this blog called kulamagi.com. It's run by this trader called Kristen Kulamagi. And if you haven't heard of him, then you should definitely check out his blog. He is a real trader, a real guy who took $10,000 of his own money and turned it into $100 million. He has live streamed his journey from when he had, I think, 8 or 10 million all the way up to 100 million. And you can see all of those streams. Coming across him was a huge turning point in my own trading because finding someone who is so legit is so rare. Everything he teaches is for free. His blog, his Twitch streams, and he doesn't sell any products to anyone, as far as I know. And from what I can tell, he is a real trader who trades real money. And he just teaches because he genuinely wants to educate educate other traders about how to trade correctly too. And he himself has been through the grind of multiple gurus and subscriptions and spent a good amount of years trying to figure out what way to go. More importantly, I think you should hear about Kristen just because he will help you break a mental barrier. So if you guys know, there was this guy, Roger Bannister, who ran an entire mile in under 4 minutes in around the 1960s. And that was the first time anyone in human history had ever done that. Up until then, people thought it was impossible to do. But as soon as he did it, within a few months, other people started doing it. And to date, I think thousands of people have done it. So, what Roger Bannister did was just break that mental barrier and show people that it is humanly possible to run a mile in under 4 minutes. And as soon as other traders realized that, they were able to achieve it too. For me, that is what Christian is. He's shown people how you can actually take $10,000 and turn it into 100 million. And I know that because of his example and his success, that mental barrier is broken within me, and what you at first used to seem more like a theoretical dream and something I used to question if it would ever be achievable is now more seems more likely for myself after seeing his example. Now, the second resource is a blog called StockB. This is run by a trader called Pradeep Ponde, and I came across this on the recommendation of Kulamagi. Now, he does run a paid service as well, but the blog that I'm recommending here is completely free. So, in my opinion, he is a really good trading coach. Um, he has a lot of knowledge, and his blog is very comprehensive, very prolific. He writes about anything and everything related to trading. And the best part is that he's an original thinker. So a lot of the main problem with this industry is that most of what you hear will be a rehash or recycle of the same old can slim trading concepts. And he doesn't do that. He brings in a lot of original and new insights from psychology to trading that I've learned a lot from. And recently, he's also been putting up a lot of new YouTube videos on his free YouTube channel, so you can check that out too. And both his blog and the channel are totally free. Okay, the last free trading resource I want to show you is the Minervini universe. So Mark Minervini is this really popular trader who's won the US investing championship twice. And he has a proven track record and a really good system, in my opinion, the one that I follow. He does have a paid service that charges you thousands of dollars, but everything that you need to know is also available for free on YouTube if you know where to look. And so this is my own YouTube playlist of all the free trading videos that I have watched over the years that I find useful and ones that I keep referring to again and again. Most of these are by Mark Minervini or people who are connected to him. So Leif Soraidi, for example, is someone who was part of his tutelage, and then he went on to learn to win the US investing championship himself. And Mark Ritchie is someone who now works with Mark Minervini, and he's also turned 100,000 into 25 million over the years by trading Minervini's method, and he now actually teaches with Minervini. This playlist is available for free on YouTube, and you can go through these videos, get started, go through them multiple times in no particular order, and you'll get a very, very good sense of everything you need to know to become a successful trader. It's going to take time, it is dense, and it is a bit complex, but you definitely don't need to shelf out any dollars to learn the best of trading from the best of traders. Okay, so those are all the free resources. But if you are a bibliophile and you love reading, if you go on Amazon, you're going to find a huge universe of books. And there's so many different trading books, it can be very overwhelming on where to start from. So over the years, I have read hundreds of trading books. And I've realized that most of these trading books fall into three different categories. So the first are commercial books. These are books that are written to make money. When you come across a book like this, you want to ask yourself, okay, what is the trading experience of the author? Does the author even have any trading experience? Are they successful traders? Do they make money off of trading, or do they make money off of selling their books to you? And sadly, a lot of the books out there today are just commercial books and people trying to sell you their books as a way for them to make money. This is something you want to stay away from, and it can be really hard to say if you're a new trader, because you don't know if that book is written by someone who's successful or not, but you would have to do a lot of research into who the trader is and how much money he actually makes before you invest your time and money into learning from that person. And don't go based off of just the number of reviews on Amazon, because it can be very misleading, just like the number of Twitter followers. Like, I know if you look for trading books, this is one of the number one books that Amazon would recommend, and it has tens of thousands of reviews, but that does not necessarily mean it's the best one for you or me. Okay, the other category of books, which is very popular, is the old books or legacy books. And I'm sure you've heard of these, or someone has recommended these to you. The Nicholas Davis book, or the Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, the book, or the William O'Neill, How to Make Money in Stocks. He's the guy who came up with the Canceling method. And I'm not saying you don't need to read these books or there's no value in them. You can find value in the books. But the thing that most people miss out on is context. You need to ask yourself, what market conditions did these guys make money in? These are guys who traded a market decades ago and made their money decades ago. Ask yourself, has the market changed since then? At that point, markets ran purely on fundamentals. Today, markets run based on story stocks. You have SPACs, which are essentially piles of cash that sometimes go crazy. You have crypto stocks, which don't really make any money, which I don't even understand. But I just closed a trade in Mara for 40% profit. You don't need to understand the fundamentals behind them. You have options today, which have overtaken the equities market in such a big way. You have no commission free trading, which basically gives access to any single person in the US to trade for free without any minimums. You have meme stocks like AMC and BBY and GME, which you didn't have back then, and stocks now go viral on the internet, and that causes them to move. More importantly, you have high frequency trading. It's these computer programs and this fractional share trading and buying and selling within seconds did not exist a few years ago. So ask yourself if all of these have made the market change in any way. And if the market structure itself has changed, then can you use these rules and methods that the people used decades ago to trade a different market and apply it exactly in today's market? You'd probably still find value in reading these, but you need to apply that context and not just try to replicate whatever is said in that book in today's market word for word, because that's not going to work. Okay, the third category of books is these books called trading psychology books. And these are a new popular category that can be very confusing. First thing you need to ask yourself, are these people psychologists or are they traders, right? Who has written this book? Because a psychologist is going to have a very different perspective from a trader who actually practices trading every day. It's the difference between theory and practice, right? Trading is something that we do, like a sport, like swimming or riding a bike. And someone who actually does it every day will have a very different perspective than someone who's just reading about it or thinking about it. So anytime you encounter a trading psychology book, Please research who the person is, what their background is, and if this is something that will actually add any value to you. So having said that, what are the 5 best books that I would recommend for any beginning trader? And I also want you to keep in mind these are the only 5 books that I refer to again and again. Everything else that I bought, I have read and tossed out. And if you are someone who likes reading a lot, these are the only 5 books that you would need to read. Okay, so the first one is definitely Think and Trade Like a Champion by Minervini. So if there's only one book that you have the patience to read or the time to read, then this is it. And it has everything from risk management to mindset to entries, exits. It covers the whole gamut. Though it is pretty dense and it's going to take you more than a couple of reads to understand and implement everything. But I would recommend that you rather read this book 100 times than read 100 other books. You're going to get more out of this than you're going to get from all the other books combined. The second one is Momentum Masters, and this one is also featuring Minervini, though it builds on his work and also interviews David Ryan, Dan Zanger, and Mark Ritchie. These are 3 other traders who are within Minervini's universe and trade a very similar style. But this is the only book that you get to hear where you get to read about these 3 traders. And they're all 3 very good in their own respects. Especially Mark Ritchie, who, from what I hear in his interviews, comes across as a very genuine, humble, spiritual, and sincere guy. And I really liked getting his perspective in this book. The best thing, though, is the format. The book will ask a simple question like, what are your stop loss rules? And then go around the table and ask each of these 4 traders, and they will all give their answers sequentially, and you get to read all of them together. And this gives you a very nice overview of the different options that you have as a momentum trader, and 4 different perspectives, essentially, to the same question. So this is super valuable and very underrated, in my opinion. The third one is a relatively new book that came out last year, I think. It's called Victory in Stock Trading, and you have to buy this on Apple. I don't think it's on Amazon yet. It's by Oliver Kell, who is also a US investing champion. And his explanation of the price cycle is the best that I have seen of any book. It gives you a lot of add-on buy points as well. So if you're more of an advanced trader and you want to add to your skill set, this can give you a lot of ideas. Most importantly, what he helped me do was get out of the day trading mindset and look at the bigger picture and think of trades in terms of swings or position trades, by his focus on the weekly charts. So I highly recommend it for that. He also has a masterclass, I think, where that he sells online, but it's quite a hefty price tag, so I can't recommend that. But it was useful for me because he walks through a lot more examples of what he teaches than the book goes through. Lastly, these are 2 books that are super underrated and no one talks about. And these are the 2 candlestick books. Now, candlesticks are the language of price. Just as you have letters and numbers, you have candlesticks, and stock charts use that as their main language. And it is baffling to me how many people look at candlestick charts all day, but don't even know how to interpret it correctly. So reading these 2 books is like learning the ABCs or your alphabets before writing a sentence. It is such a good investment of your time because once you know how to correctly interpret these candlestick charts, you're going to carry this skill with you for the rest of your life. And you will never look at a candlestick chart the same way again. I can assure you that. They will give you the best and strongest foundation, in my opinion. So I don't think anyone else talks about this, except I heard Oliver Kellen in his masterclass mention it and highly recommend it, and I was super impressed that he did that. The first book, which is this Candlestick course, this one also has exercises at the end of each chapter, and those give you a way to check your understanding as you go along. So they're very well written and well designed books. So these are the 5 books that I recommend buying and starting with, and probably also ending your trading library with, because I've thrown out everything else at this point. Overall, these I think each of them would cost like 20-30 bucks, and so overall you're looking to spend about $100. And if you buy used versions of books like I do, then it's going to cost even less, half the price. So if there's anything that I'm missing or new books that have come out that are really, really good on par with these 5, then definitely let me know in the comments below. And if you disagree with me on any of these 5 books or don't like them for some reason, also let me know, because I love hearing a contrarian opinion. Maybe there's something that I'm missing. So I would appreciate that. And hopefully this video gave you a good roadmap of how you can get started with trading if you're a new trader, and the best free resources and the top 5 books. So thank you so much. Hope you found it helpful.